Steve Jones with the Hardscape channel here again. Gary Stowe still with us. Gary, thanks for sticking around for another interview.
Oh, of course.
You know, I've got to ask. You're in the California market, and what has been most recent? What's been the most recent impact in your hardscape market there by suppliers?
Well, I think the drive to create new and more attractive products has really taken hold in our area. Early 90s when I started, we had basic shapes, tan browns, red charcoals, the cobblestones, and then one of the local manufacturers started pushing some of the color alternatives. They did a face mix, and they started to add some colors to it. And there are now up to 5 and 6 color mixes in which you don't see any pattern across it. It's such a mix of color that it's just a uniform variegation of colors. Yeah,
Wow.
it's just tremendous.
That takes a real commitment on a manufacturer's part to create that.
The guy that does it is a lunatic.
You want to call him by name so at least we know who he is?
Jim Grossi from Calstone. I swear, I've never seen
Jim,
a guy.
now you know who you are.
I've never seen a guy get more intense over colors in my entire life. You can sit down to have dinner with him, and he'll go on for an hour.
Well, God bless him for having that sort of passion to
He
give
really
us products
does.
that they really mean a difference.
He has. I think he's transformed the market out there. The other manufacturers have had to come along reluctantly, I think, but now they've started to. We see the changes in the national manufacturers coming in. When the larger manufacturers came in, they came in with their standard products. Again, they were still with the muted colors and very subdued variations, and they've completely changed, in our market anyway. They're coming out with some tremendous colors. What they're also doing is bringing in some new shapes and sizes. You couldn't, in our market, you can't keep track of all the colors and shapes without a program. It's really tremendous.
Colors are important, obviously, for the aesthetic reasons. Shapes are important to provide a wide variety of things to do. But the one thing that I always I try to stay focused on is the actual quality of the manufactured product. And in different parts of the country, it's obviously goes from one extreme to the other. Have you seen quality increase led by certain companies? And does it pull the other companies up with it?
I wish I could say it did pull them up. There are manufacturers who produce a good product, are committed to a good product. They do a fantastic job. You can be certain of it. You can put it on the saw. You can tell whether it's going to be a decent product or not. And then there's other manufacturers that the bottom line is their only quotient, and it's garbage. You drop it and it breaks. You slice through it like butter. It's just, you know it's not right.
Well, that's unfortunate. You know, years ago when I was first making a mess in our industry, manufacturers would bring me product and say, "What do you think of this?" And I'm a little nicer these days, but in those days when they bring me product, I go, "Oh, it looks pretty," and then I smack them. And they, "You broke them." I go, "Well, yeah. How else am I going to know how hard they are?" You know, and really what I listened for was, number one, was the feeling in my hands when you get a sharp feedback when you smack a paver.
And that clink.
The higher the pitch, the harder the product. So yeah, the closer it sounds to clay, the harder it is.
Yeah.
And yeah, was that scientific? No. But so what? At least it told me what I had to work with.
Yeah.
And when I slapped them together and they sounded like 2 blocks of soap, oof. Sad.
Yeah.
Been there. Well, all we can ever hope is that we can convince our industry can understand and convince one another that higher quality products, colors, shapes, density, hardness, these things will help our industry grow. And it puts a more of an onus on the contractor to make sure that his installations last as long as the product will. Today, it doesn't take much. But we want the liability on you in the installation. We want that to fail first. And if you do your job like you do it now, we're decades away.
I'm more than happy to take the responsibility. You give me a decent product, and it's going to last forever.
Gary, thanks very much. That was hopefully we didn't make too many people mad at us. This is Steve Jones with the Hardscape channel.